Hi guys, Artiar here. So for this video, we'll be looking at patch 3.4.23, which is the anniversary patch as well. Alright, so yesterday we really looked through the live stream. Basically, it's also our new version preview. We already have an idea what we're going to get through the anniversary patch, but for now, I'm going to go through the patch note for more detailed explanation from what the feature we're going to get, and also the Meta Eira kit as well. Alright, so Meta Eira, 5-star full Esper, is a fighter whose ability effect change based on her position. So it's like either when she's at leader buff, then she have a different kind of effect, and then if she's at the teammate buff, which is non-leader slot, which is the slot 2 to slot 5, then she will have a different effect. So S1 is an AoE damage that deals damage based on her attack stats and reducing the target's AP. You can think this of TA's S1, the AP down, but AoE effect, but it will not AP push your ally, because TA R2 will make her S1 and then AP push the whole team. But for Meta Eira, it's just AP down the target, no idea how many percentage, but it's an AoE effect. And then while Prima is active, so Prima is when Meta Eira is at the leader slot and Secondo is at the non-leader slot. So if you put Meta Eira as a leader, then this ability hit 1 extra time for every certain number of cadence stacks. So if you put Meta Eira as a leader, then every time she casts S1 will do extra more damage. If let's say she have 5 stack of cadence, then she's gonna get like maybe 5 multi-hit. And if she is at non-leader's position, then the effect will go to gain AP after the ability ends. So after Meta Eira casts her S1, then she'll get an AP boost. But how many AP boosts, we have to look at the PTR server. And then she'll gain more AP boost by the certain number of the cadence stack. So if you put her at leader buff, your S1 do multi-hit more. And then if you put her at the teammate buff, then she's gonna get AP push. Then S2 is her passive. At the start of the combat, she will gain Prima if she is at position 1, which is the captain leader slot. Otherwise, she'll get Secondo. So every time an ally casts S1, then she will gain cadence and reduce the cooldown of Passion Burst, which is her S3. So the only way for her to gain cadence is through your ally casting an ability skill. So if your ally doesn't cast S1 that often, for example, if there's a lot of cooldown reduction in your team and they just cast S3 very often, then it won't be a very good synergize with Meta Eira, because you want your ally to cast a lot of S1. That's the reason why you can get your buff cadence. So what I want to test is, does relief set and assist count? So let's say relief set counts, then it will actually be a very easy job for this buff to get cadence. Or maybe assist. So for example, if I put Chuya with a Esper like Slon, and every time Chuya S1, Slon follow up with a S1, if this also counts as the ally casts an ability, then she get cadence and also cooldown, that this will be a very strong effect. This will have to be tested at the test server. Then the Prima buff is undispellable, which is a golden rim buff. It will increase her own basic ability damage. This effect won't remove upon death. But if you put her at Secondo, which I think this is the best effect, it's also undispellable, and increase all teammate basic ability damage. So this is actually very strong, because if you can increase all the teammate basic ability damage, so that if, for example, if there's Esper, their S1 is actually very strong, for example Elif, the S1 is actually very strong, then putting Meta Eira at the teammate slot is better, because it will further enhance their S1 damage. No idea how many percentage, or does it stack with the brawler set, but we're gonna test it at the test server. And then what makes me most interested is this effect. The carrier is immune to damage, which kind of reminds me of Ana block, until they are the last one standing or after taking a certain number of hit. So from my understanding is, every time they get hit, it will block the damage. So let's say this buff can block like 10 hit. So before Meta Eira getting 10 hit of block, you won't get any damage at all. It's kind of different than the Ana block, because Ana block is every time you're damage to Ana, the first hit will block. After that, the second hit, third hit, and fourth hit will hit to Ana. But it seems like this buff here, the one that blocked here, the immune to damage, is like it will block all kind of hits until you reach the certain number of stack. But if you finish the stack, then she will get damage. I feel it would be this. So Secondo have a effect that actually protects Meta Eira herself, which is actually good. But this need to further testing like how it actually works, because on paper it seems very nice. It's more towards for PvP on paper for this buff, but PvE will be some useful to make her stay alive. Then Cadence is hypes up the atmosphere, stackable with a limit. Does that mean Cadence doesn't do anything other than just hyping up the atmosphere? I'm curious as well, because we have a lot of effect that works around with Cadence, which is like your S1 is either through multi-hit or maybe more AP push. So I'm curious like if Cadence actually brings more effect by its own Golden Rune buff, because Cadence itself is a Golden Rune buff and this effect won't remove upon death. So I'm curious as well, is it just really hypes up the atmosphere description, or there's actually some small effect in it? Okay, then S3 is Passion Burst. This ability can be cast while Secondo is active, so which means if you want Meta Eira to cast her S3, you have to put Meta Eira at the non-leader slot. If you put Meta Eira at leader slot, then you'll get Prima, and Prima increase Meta Eira basic ability damage, and it also further increase the S1 multi-hit, but at the same time you won't be having S3. So if you're at Prima, your S1 will be doing more damage and more multi-hit, which makes her very high damage and as a multi-hit damage dealer, but you won't have S3. But if you put her at a teammate, she won't get basic ability damage, but she will help your team get more AP, because she will rotate her skill a lot more faster by her S1 AP push, and also increase all your teammate basic ability, and you can cast S3. So I will feel like putting Meta Eira at leader slot is more towards to PvP for more damage on Meta Eira, and if you put Meta Eira on the teammate slot, then it's more towards to PvE. So why do I say that is because if you put it at second slot, which is the teammate slot, you have an AoE damage that deals damage based on attack. And if you have a max stack of Cadence stack in PvP, this damage ignores all defense, and also increase the damage will further increase with the target's max HP up to a limit, which seems very busted on the S3 in PvP effect. Basically, it seems like you are able to wipe out the whole defender team, which is Wuyu team. It seems like that, right? But I'm not sure. Then in PvE, all allies will assist with their basic ability. So this effect seems very busted, because if you have max stack of Cadence, and then if you cast this effect, every ally will cast their own basic ability. So let's say your team have Champagne, maybe when Champagne casts her S1, she'll further make your teammate assist with the Champagne S1 effect as well. So this seems very busted. I want to test like the synergize of Meta Eira with Champagne and Alice, or maybe with Yuran as well. This will actually be a very strong effect in PvE. So she is definitely going to be a meta unit in my opinion. I mean, she's a meta unit, but she's going to have a meta value. Then if Cadence isn't at max stack, it will just increase all allies AP. How many percentage? We have no idea. Okay, passive. While Prima is active, attack deals extra true damage based on the target max HP up to a certain percentage of Eira's attack. So because you have, if you're at the leader slot, the Prima's buff, you're not able to cast this. You're not able to cast your S3. But if you have Prima, then you trigger this passive effect, which your attack will do extra true damage. So your S1 makes me feels like a Nora effect. You have multi-hit, and then you have TA's AP down, and then every time you multi-hit, your damage will further increase because you're at the Prima slot, you do basic ability damage increase, and then because you're at the Prima slot, your damage also deals extra true damage based on the target max HP. So Meta Eira, if you put her at leader buff, your damage is going to increase by a lot through her S1. But if you put her at the teammate slot, you're gonna AB push after you do S1 damage, and then all your teammates gonna get buffed by their S1, and then she herself will immune to damage for a certain number of hit, and then you're gonna cast S3 AoE damage, which have a different scenario with different effect. PvP ignores defense and also do more damage. In PvE, all ally assist with their ability. So this is a very busted Esper in my opinion. It's very strong even at R0. So now let's take a look what about the Rezo. Does the Rezo make her even stronger? Because in my opinion R0 is already very strong. But let's take a look at the Rezo. R1 is the same, the meta Rezo, basically you get more base stat. And R2, now this effect now of the passive will change to any unit cast and ability. So previously is only your ally casts S1 each time an ally casts basic ability, then you'll only get the cadence stack and also reduce your S3. But if you have her at R2, any unit, including the enemy unit casting S1, you also gain cadence stack and reduce your passive burst cooldown. So in my opinion, I would think that this buff is more towards to PvP, because PvE, let's say you're fighting in boss mode, right? If you're fighting in boss, it's very unlikely the boss will cast a lot of S1. Most likely it's your team keep casting effect. So with that case, I would say this R2 effect is more towards to PvP, because any unit, including the enemy one, cast S1, you also get cadence stack and also reduce the S3 cooldown, which is a very strong effect for PvP, but in PvE it doesn't matter too much. But R4 makes it what the most interesting. So a new effect added at the harmonic shift. New effect, Prima. After casting an S1, cast it extra one time. This cannot trigger repeat. You cannot repeatedly trigger. So it's basically kind of like you hear me effect as well. Because if you make her at Prima, she only casts S1, and S1 actually deals a lot of damage through the passive and also the Prima buff itself. But now, if you have an R4, your Prima will add you cast one more S1. Basically double cast. Double cast S1 will actually do a lot of damage. So I think Prima, if you have an R4, maybe she can just S1 and kill your Esper. But this is towards at R4 and more towards to PvP in my opinion. But let's say if you have her at R4, the second effect will be when an ally casts S1, there's a chance, how many chance we have no idea, they will cast it one extra time. This effect cannot trigger repeat. So I would say this R4 effect is busted in PvE content. So imagine you put Meta Eira and Champion in a team. So whenever Champion casts S1 with a basic ability, you have a chance to actually cast one more S1. Then basically you have double assist in one single turn, which is actually very, very strong. Alright, I would say this R4 effect is very strong in terms of our PvP and PvE as well. R2 is more towards PvP, R4 is more towards both content. I would say PvE will get affected more. Then R6 is also very strong. So Passion Burst, S3. At the start of the combat, grants all ally the Brightman Watch for 2 turns. So this Brightman Watch is actually the effect of the Epic Eira. So if we take a look at the Epic Eira here, so Epic Eira, what makes Epic Eira actually so strong is because of her very unique buff. It's a Silver Rim buff, which means you can be dispelled. Brightman Watch cannot be debuffed. So if the Esper have this effect, they cannot be debuffed unless this buff got dispelled. At the end of ally turn, the carrier AP plus 15%. So this is actually very strong for PvP and also PvE. What makes Eira so strong in PvE is because she can continuously trigger this Brightman Watch. But for R6 here, it will only let you get this Brightman Watch for 2 turns at the start of the combat, which means there's no other way for you to regain this Brightman Watch. So in my opinion, I would say her R6 is not really that needed, because in PvP, if you apply this Brightman Watch with one Chuyao S3, most probably it's just going to dispel it anyway. So in PvP, I think it is strong. The effect is actually very strong, but in PvP it can be dispelled, so it's not really that effective unless at Meta Eira is actually a Golden Rim buff, or else I would say it's not that impactful comparing to R4 and R2. But in PvE, it will help you because it will trigger the AP faster. So your ally rotation will be a lot more faster for the beginning of the 2 turn, because it will only last for 2 turn. Alright, so in my opinion, R6 value is very good, but the best value it will be at R4 instead of R6. This is my opinion. So personally for me, I really like his kit. I really like her kit. I like her model. I like her kit. She seems very strong in PvE and PvP. I will have a high chance to actually go for R4. I think I'll go for R4. Like Meta Draw, I didn't go for R4. Meta Draw, I just bought the pass and I just go for R2. But Meta Eira will actually make me want to try to go for R4. Probably R6 as well if I get lucky, but overall I think I'll target R4. Okay, then Burning Beat Rave, this is other event, the anniversary event. So Burning Beat Rave is basically the anniversary event itself. It will last for 2 game versions, so we're gonna have 2 patches long of anniversary patch until June 17. And then Sweet Witches is basically some mini game of the anniversary event. You're getting some extra reward and also something to do with the game. Burning Beat Assembly is basically the lock-in event. You're able to get legendary Esper selection, which is what we already shown at the previous new version preview. And then they also mentioned there's a second half will unlock at the next version update, so we're gonna wait for the second patch, because now currently is the anniversary first phase. We're gonna have two phases. Then Burning Beat Bouquet is you can spend Nexus Crystal to buy stuff, which is the tricky black water market. Then Limited Time Shimmer Reverb is the event that everyone looking forward to it, which is basically a free legendary Shimmer Esper. So we have no idea like how many or what kind of Shimmer Esper we can get within this Shimmer Reverb, but we're gonna wait until the test server to review, but I'm assuming all the Shimmer Legend Esper. Then the Flashback is basically for the long-term player or the older player to know that your past year record, like how many times you kill Fafnir, how many times you kill Yinglong, all those stuff. Then Mind Invasion is a new content for the event. It's basically fighting Sonica. And then the Burning Beat Trials is kind of like our Abyssal Trial. And then we have Memory Rift is also something similar, but it seems like they added something, which is from day 1 to day 10, you'll receive a specific number of deep prop key each day. But starting at day 11, if you didn't receive the full amount, they will slowly give you back. So you don't have to worry that you actually miss some key. These is some QOL changes, but overall, these two events is basically something we played before. Other than this Mind Invasion is the Sonica boss roguelike gameplay. Then Event Tales is the event story for the anniversary. Like maybe we can learn about how Eira became Meta Eira, because every Esper they became to Meta, they have their own story behind it. Like for example, Li Ling and Yun Chuan, they went through the trials. That's why they become Meta. Meta Drew is because he went into the trial as well, the Scroll of Life. That's why he became Meta Drew, but the story is not finished yet. The Lost Sand is still halfway through, so I'm assuming after these two anniversary patch, then we're gonna have the Lost Sand story, I guess. Alright. Then for Crimson Cadence is the event for us to summon Meta Eira, which is until June 17. We have 2 patches long time for us to summon Meta Eira. And then Galactic Growth is basically the battle pass. Alright. Then for the Red Up Esper limited time event echo, we're gonna have Yuhei and Ahmed. We have Chuyao, Gaius, and Feng Shun and Farah. Basically, we have Yuhei here, very good. We have Chuyao here, also very good. We have Feng Shun here, is also very good. Then we have Rewind event for us to actually reset our Esper to get back our legendary ability mon, which I want to test at the test server, like if this Rewind event will actually give us our level mon back as well. Because if this Rewind event also gives us back our level mon, then we can actually save 6,000 Nexus Crystal from buying the Astral Coin. Then other update improvement basically is changing the Bounty Hunter Disco Boom into Meta Eira. Alright, so that's all for this patch note for today. I'm really curious with the Meta Eira because I really like her model. She's very pretty, and then her kit itself seems very solid, which makes me very interested into getting her Razzle. Then we have the anniversary event. We will slowly get to know more about at the test server, right? Because the test server is at Thursday, and when we are recording this video is at Tuesday. So just 2 more days we can know more information about the anniversary event. Alright, so basically that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment down what you guys think about this Esper and also the event, and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is JNMP, Skyelk, thank you so much for your support. And for the supporter or patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwaltz, Rimu, Chorny, Antonio Winterspoon, Cragrin, Calamity, Rocco Senzions, Jordan Alons, thank you so much for your support. Special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest tag. Thank you so much for Code Wilderness, Calamity, Agni, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Bloods, Riku Fred, Chorny. Thank you so much for your support.